Days of the company man are all but over, according to the latest findings from social research firm McCrindle. Australians are no longer staying in just one workplace. In fact, the typical length of employment is now just over 3 years. On average, we'll have 17 jobs over our lifetime, with 70% of us working full-time and the rest in part-time roles. So, what does the Australia of today really look like? Social researcher Claire Madden joins us now live. Claire, gone are the days of working for just one company. How does this change the way we view work?
That's right. As you mentioned, the average voluntary turnover now is sitting at about 15% per annum, which equates to about people staying in a role for about 3 years and 4 months. This means that there's been a shift from job security to job flexibility being a priority for Australians now.
Now, in the not-too-distant future, like in a couple of years, the nuclear family will be a thing of the past.
Well, at the moment, our nuclear families are the most common household types, making up a third of our 9.1 million Australian households.
This is mum and dad and
2.6 people on average make up our Australian households. But yes, a nuclear household is made up of parents and their children. But the fastest growing household type is the lone person household. And by the end of the decade, our couple-only households, which make up 30% currently, will be the most common household type.
How much harder is it for kids to leave the family home nowadays?
That's right. Kids are staying at home longer, and this is for a number of factors. One of them being the rising cost of house prices. If we go back 4 decades, the median house price in a capital city was 5 times the average annual earnings. Today, it's 10 times the average annual earnings. So it is more expensive to get into the housing market, and these kids who are staying at home longer have been named the kippers, who are the kids in parents' pockets eroding retirement savings.
Good for the kids, not so good for the parents.
That's right.
Is there an explanation behind the recent baby boom? Does it come down to, government incentives?
That absolutely would be making a difference. We've got over 300,000 births every year now, and government incentives, the paid parental leave scheme, as well as increased workplace flexibility and teleworking, the ability to work at home for mums once they've had their children as well, would be changing the environment there.
When are we deciding to have kids?
We're having kids later in life. So if we look at now, the average age of a mum at birth is 31 years, and for a dad it's 33 years. This has been pushed back by about 3 years in the last 3 decades.
Your research has shown so many interesting factors. Why should we be knowing this? Why is it important to sort of give us a snapshot of what our nation looks like?
Yeah, it's really important that we understand what society we're actually living in and what the impacts of the policy changes are and the environment that we're in.
And one of those things being how multicultural we are. One of the greatest in the world.
Absolutely. Australia is incredibly rich in the diversity that we have, with over 300 ancestries represented. In fact, 1 in 4 Australians weren't born here. And when you look at households that have at least one parent born overseas, that's 46% of households.
Excellent. Nice. Good info. Any big surprises in there? Not really.
Well, we're always changing, and I think the speed of change is being reflected in some of these stats.
And the nuclear family is really interesting.
Yeah, that's a big surprise.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Thanks very much.